Amazing. Hi everyone. Another day, another bit of work. So let's see, what are we doing today? Uh, I'm just trying to get into back into the stream of things, and after the last couple of days where we've had a lot of like interruptions with new parts, new deliveries, and the plans changing. So I'm gonna do something that has been pending for a while and get some stuff sorted out so we can actually know what is happening. Cool. Yeah, that says it's live. Cool. We are live now. I'm gonna close this because I don't want to get notifications while I'm here. Hey, Bartholomew. See you there. Cool. So I chose to do something that's been pending for a while because it's easier to get back into the swing of things after interruptions like we did. So I have this pull request for Zephyr that adds the support for this SPI I2C to SPI bridge. I got this little guy. It's an I2C to SPI bridge. And I've got a pull request to add the driver to Zephyr because I'm using the driver somewhere else. I'll also open the thing here. I2 SC1 SC1. So this is the bridge. Okay. So this is the bridge, and I'm trying to add the driver for this into Zephyr. The reason is because I'm using it in one of our clients' projects, and I can't say how I'm using it, but I am using it to bridge I2C to SPI. But so I've had this pull request open for a couple of weeks, maybe even for a couple of months. I don't know. These things take a while when you're working on open source. Let me see. Yeah, it's been July 25, so a couple of months. It's been on for quite a while. Maybe it might even go a bit longer than that. But it's adding quite a bit of code, and it's gone through quite a bit of reviews, and it's almost landing, but it's not landed yet. So today we're going to apply the latest reviews and get it shipshape so that we can get going with that. And then also the latest review basically is something that I have not used before, so it's going to be fun to learn it and to apply it in that respect. Okay, cool. So let's get on with it. So this is, which branch is this? PR SC1 SC18IS 606. Okay, cool. So let's go to that branch, get it open, and git branch. Is this gonna git branch? That's very odd. Let's see, Zephyr project Zephyr git branch -8. Okay, cool. So yeah, there's all of this. JJJJJ. Where's my branch? Okay. Git check out PR top. Okay, wow. Did I somehow lose git status? Did I somehow lose all of my branches? Git check out PR-SC, okay, PR-SC198. Can I do that? Can I do? Can I do something like this? Will you take me back to my bridge? Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Yan's very. Let's do a git fetch. Okay, cool. We can do an origin. is my branch not found? There's something I'm doing wrong. West West config manifest manifest. Look, yeah, sure. Somehow it let me think about it. Git remote -v. No, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. You can't just do that with my stuff, please. Thank you. It looks like I lost one of my remotes. Git remote. Let's go back. Let's go back and add it. So this is open link, new tab. This should be my own. Yeah. Okay. Git remote. That's how long I haven't worked on this PR for. Add git remote. That's H. Okay, git remote add. Yeah. Okay, git remote add. Let's say Gaia choose. Yeah, that's Baba. Git check out guy. What was it? Git check out. Yeah. Can I do that? Gaia choose. Git fetch Gaia choose. Okay. Git check out. PR-SC1 bridge. Amazing. We're on there. We now have our code. I'm so unsure. I don't know how I managed to lose my remote. Anyways, it doesn't matter. We use Git, so we don't lose code for this reason. Okay, cool. So it might have been when I was doing my workspaces for work and stuff and such. Okay. Let's now deal with this. Is it where am I working in Zephyr itself? Yeah, I think I am working in Zephyr itself. And I think the thing I need to do is to go into drivers. Okay, let's do git log. Let's see the last thing we added. Yeah. And then what we want to do is apply this PR review. This one now. Let's start with this one. So what we want to do is we want to change this so that it can use field prep macros rather than using being. Okay, let me show you. PF. It's going to be SC18IS. Yeah, and then it's going to be CFG byte. Cool. So yeah, you see, not here. So this, what we want to do is avoid this all of this magic numbers over here. We would like to avoid all of these magic numbers over here. And as it appears, there is a convenience in Zephyr that enables us to do this. And this was given to me by Sio from Nordic, so that's pretty cool. But this might actually require me to change my YAML binding. So let's go see if my YAML binding will work for this. SC18IS. IS, I think it's this one, SPI YAML. Yeah, see that? See this enum here? We want to change this enum so that it actually chooses the speed. One inputs the speeds. So yeah, let's look at it. So let's put it in, let's say, are they in kilohertz? Let's go look at the datasheet. So let's look at the speeds in datasheet. So in kilohertz. So we can't change the documentation to be in kilohertz. Yeah, let's change that. SPI clock frequency in kilohertz, khertz, and yeah, I'll just do kilo because that's fine, and then I'll just change this to be the actual values we get here. So let's go 1875, and then I think it's 455, and then I think it's 115, and I think another one is 58. Okay, so the first thing we change is that we change this one's to be the user sets the SPI clock rate in hertz rather than setting an enum, which actually fixes it for us, and then we put in a default value here of 1875, and I think that's because that's the default over here. Okay, cool. So that's the first change that we need to do. And then the second change that we need to do is in our let's add this control E. Okay, control A, control E, space A, control E. Okay, so PF. So let's do SC18ISC, this one, and then space A, control E. Okay, cool. So we have both of them now. So the first thing we want to change is how we accept this. We accept this new value from the binding. So this new value, how do we accept it from the binding? The thing we want to change is down here, this SPI mode, or this frequency actually. DT prop interest, and we want to use, I think there was something that was suggested, the frequency DT inst enum. Let's look at the documentation for this first. Inst enum. Copy. I will do Zephyr API documentation. Okay. Let's look for that. In IDX. Let's look at that. So what does this do? Get a DT driver compat values index into its enumeration values. Okay, cool. So it will give us back the index of that, the index that the person has chosen. The person will put, okay, cool. The developer, when the developer is using this driver, when the developer is using this driver, they will supply one of these enum values, okay? And then in our driver itself, we will use this macro to get what index of the enum that the developer actually used. So cool, so that changes that, okay? Yeah, let's jump onto the other one, and then let's actually just do it the way CEO actually suggested it. So dt inst enum dt inst enum dt inst enum idx, and then inside we want to take the driver instance, and then we want to take the frequency, and that's just it. That's really just it. That is all that changes. Do we get a new? No, we don't get a new bracket. And let's jump on to the I in here. No, not do that. That. Cool. So that changes the first part of it. So we're now fetching into the enum rather than we're now fetching the index of the enum rather than the value itself. Okay, cool. Let's now look at something else. So let's go down. Yeah, I hate it when it does that, but let's now look at it here. So we have three things that we need to set up. We want to choose the operation. We want to do, so let's look at it here. Let's look at it from this part. We want to set the clock rate. Where's my mouse? We would like to set the clock rate. We would like to set the mode selection. I wonder if I need to zoom in a bit for this, but that's maybe too much. We want to set the clock rate. So we want to set three things: the clock rate, the mode, and the order. Okay, cool. So let's do that. So now COV actually suggests doing field prep, dot. So let's go look at the field prep macro and what it does. Field prep. So this might actually help us remove magic numbers from our code, and that will be so cool. Yeah, cool. Prepare a bit field element using value with mask. Okay, so this is a value that we're going to use, and then we provide a mask that represents its field position and width. Yeah, okay, cool. So you use a mask to select, we use a mask to select the field and the bit width, the position in the bit field and the bit width of the thing that we want to change. So we need to use this to set the mode, the speed, the mode, the frequency, and the mode, the frequency, and the significant byte. Are you sending MSB or LSB? Okay, cool. So let's do that. So this is just those three. Set this clock rate, which will be the first 2, 0 and 1 in the bit field, and then in this one it will be 2 and 3, and then this one is just bit 5 itself. So let's make a couple of masks for this. I will make a couple of masks for this so that we can do that. Okay, cool. Let's just do it here in this global scope up here so that we can use it. And I don't know if I should use it here, but I can probably do it at the top. Yeah, let's just do it here so that it's with all the other defines. So let's do hash define, and then I think it'll be SC1 8 IS 606, and then we can do this is let's start with the LSB mask, and then tab. Oh, I don't like that. So we have a gen mask. We can use. Okay, just look at this. There's a new thing we can use. Why is it like that? Gen mask. Okay, so let's look at this. This generates a mask. This makes a mask. It says a higher, you set a contiguous 64-bit, create a contiguous bit mask starting with bit position L and H. Okay, cool. So we can actually make the mask ourselves. So cool. So and then in here we're gonna do gen mask, I think, and something like, I think for LSB it's the 5th one, isn't it? For LSB it's the 5th one. So 5 ending at 5. Okay, cool. And then let's do define SC1 8 IS 60606, and then the next one we want to do is the mode mask, and then that's here, and then we can do gen mask, gen mask, and then the mode mask is from where? From 2 to 3. So L and H, 2 to 3. So I think 3, 2. Okay, and then we want to do define SC1 8IS606, and then this is going to be frequency mask, fric mask, like that. That makes it yeah. And then we'll do gen mask, and then this one goes 1 to 0. Yeah, I think so. And then I'm feeling like this one's this means this is not really GD. Do I need to pull in util.h? Do I need to pull in util.h? sysutil.h. Let's just pull it in. Let's pull it in and see if it actually helps. Include come on, include Zephyr sys util.h. Does that fix it? It doesn't mean to. It doesn't fix. It doesn't look like it changes it. So that's fine. That's okay. So cool. We've made 3 masks. Let's go and apply them. We're going to apply them as is described here in our. You see here. We're going to apply them like this. We're going to apply them as is described here. And I think we can do next, and then in here. So this is going to make this bunch of code here look very kind of documented. We basically don't want, won't need to use all of this super special numbers that we're using. Yeah. Yeah, all of this ones at the top is fine. It's just this 3 that are using quite special stuff and that I want to do. So the mode, the frequency, and the mode, the frequency. Where am I setting the MSB? LSB. Then there's a mode. Then there's a frequency. So this one, that one. So that does the LSB. This does the mode. This does the frequency. So let's fix this first. Let's fix this. The replacement for this one, without all of this bit shifts, is going to be CFG. We can actually do the frequency one as is suggested before, and then we can come back to the other ones. So CFG byte, and then we're going to do equal, and then how is it suggesting we do it? And then we do field prep. Okay, and then field prep, and then we're going to take SPI SC1 8. Yeah, and SC1 8 and SC1 frec mask. Yeah, and then full prep that, and then we can do from here, we can do config, and then we can from the config we can just get the frequency. Isn't it? Yeah. So that this replaces that. I like how that looks. And then let's do the mode one, and then we'll remove the lines above it. CFG byte, and then let's do that, and then in here we can do our field prep, and then in here we can do SC. I think it's mode mask. Yeah. But this one wouldn't be as simple as that. We have to do some bit shifting. So SPI mode get, and then in here we want to go config, and then in here we want to do operation. Okay. here I wanna shift this one, so there's that, and then there's that. I think that's valid now. Yeah, just release that, drag removes that, and then let's do this last one and see what happens here. CFG byte. You know something that's really bugging me right now? I don't remember how to test this. I don't remember how to build this and test this without connecting all the in order to test it, I would have to connect like a I2C controller into this, and then from this to a SPI device, and I just don't want to do that right now. It would take too long, and I've got other tasks to do. And then SC18, this is going to be the LSB mask. Yeah, let's do that. No, don't do that. Don't go into the next line, and don't unnecessarily add new lines. And then in our LSB mask now, what we want to do is we want to shift this so that it's in the config. It's operation, and then in config operation we want to shift that. We would like to SPI transfer. Wait, transfer LSB. Why is it not? Shift that forward that way, and then that should fix it, and that should be it. That should be good. And then we remove that. Looks a little bit better. I'm not getting my definitions because somehow, let's see, ls, there is no compile command here, isn't it? Let's do west build samples, west build dash b s dash STM32F4 disco samples hello world. Let's build that. Control R, activate. Cool. And then let's build that so that we get a JSON compile commands, and we can put it in this. We can put a compile command in the root here, and then we might get autocomplete working. Yeah, I might get autocomplete working. And I think I remember how to test this using I should have a test that I can run that will test that this is working. But let's get this working first. Anyway, any questions so far? Let me check YouTube. No questions so far? No questions so far. Cool. So we're building that. I do have actually time for questions, but if anyone has them. Yeah. It was building. Yeah, so that sort of built. So CP samples and world build. What did it build? LS build. Okay. CP compile command build compile commands here. Put it in Zephyr itself. Yep. And then if I go back to my code now, I should be able to do autocomplete and stuff. Okay, let's see. It's actually really, we should have it now. Yeah, it works now. I have autocomplete. We'll leave this SPI context for now. And I can do N and I can just go where I was. Yeah. I have everything. And it builds. No, that wasn't that building. So now we need to figure out, I need to remember how to test the changes that I have added. Clear. And if I remember correctly, there should be a broken PR that I opened that was really bad, and I had a mistake in this PR, but it was a one-liner, and I think if I remember, there's a description of how I need to run some tests, and if I can run those tests, yeah, that. This should be, you should tell me. This was a mistaken PR because I was looking at too many things at the same time. As you guys know, I'm always doing quite a lot at the time. So, copy. And this can be closed. And then I can go here and then I can do test that. And I'll show you why this works. So the reason this works is because if I go into tests, if I do tests, drivers, MFD, and then I go into this app overlay. If I believe this should be it, I will find a test in here for my, yes. So there's an I2C here. And then this applies the driver that we're building, SC1, I8, IS, 606 and such. So if I run this test, Twister will orchestrate my driver code and check whether my driver code is good before we go on, if that makes any sense. And then actually I remember something. I just remembered something. So PV here in app.overlay, we have to PV in app.overlay, yes. No, there is a default, so that's fine. The default will take over. 0 of 1, 1 error. There we go, we found it. Let's go and look at why this is failing. So let's look at this file over here, Twister out. So ls, this is supposed to be ls, so less Twister out, Twister report, why? Less is a thing, yeah? Okay. ls Twister out. Okay, cool. Yeah, there's I can complete. So let's do clear less Twister out, Twister report.xml. Let's look at the report of why this is failing. This says drive test suite native sim times up that is today at surely at that time. Property name version value, that's fine. Test case drivers there, driver MC failure, driver loading Zephyr default modules. So that failed. Why did that fail? It's not in enum. Pre is not in enum. 0 is not in enum. Okay, let's look at this. Device tree. Value of property frequency on test is not in enum list. Ha! Something is wrong. Value of what? Value of build all, build drivers. Where are you? I have a tiny kitten somewhere around me just complaining. So value found device tree value of property frequency in test I2C SPI in home is not in enum. So value of property frequency in that. Okay, cool. So our test is wrong. Shit, I have to look at it again. Value of property frequency in this, in home, Zephyr. Okay, cool. So value of that, the value of this, of the enum in this is wrong. So cool. Let's go and look at it. I missed something really small. Ha! There you go. Here. The 1875. That should fix it. 1875. Q. And then let's run when I do this, I like to remove rm-rf twister out. I like to remove that. And then I believe I just need to run the test once again, and then let's see. This should make it work. Control ++. Yeah. Any questions so far? We're working on a Zephyr driver, and we're trying to apply the fixes that were recommended on the PR. So let's see if this gets the tests passing. If the test should pass. The test should pass. Because that was the only missing thing. And then everything. This basically takes our driver, runs it on native scene, and checks if anything is wrong. So that's good. Still. Unused variable mode. Okay, let's see. Let's do that. What does it say? Yeah, that worked. It built. What is the problem? Unused variable mode. Does not like unused variable mode, and that unused variable mode is occurring at SC1. What is this? Where are you? 147. Let's go back to our driver. So this part is fixed. Let's go back to our driver and see PF actually control E. Line 147, unused variable mode. Line 147. Does anyone see what the error is? Does anyone see what the error is? Does anyone see what the error is? Does anyone see what the issue is? It's right there. It's actually on that line. It's actually on that line. Anyways, it's here. Here we go. This is supposed to be mode. And that should probably get this is never used. How is this used before? How did I use this before? I can just remove it, but my config does not have a mode. So let's look at it first. Config. This is not the config I'm using. One four seven, 147, 147, almost there. We make a mode here. And then in 147, that's fine, that's fine, that's fine. But then we get mode is equals to SPI mode get operation and move it 1 and dot. This is actually, I was right. The code was right. I think it's you. And then all I need to do is remove mode here. There's no mode. We ignored the warning. We shouldn't have in the first place. It could have told us. See? Let's run the test again. Yeah, I thought this would mean. I thought this would be a problem. I thought this would be a problem. I really did think this would be a problem. So let's see. Let's see. rm-rf twister out. Okay. And then let's do run the test again. Any questions so far? Any questions so far? Okay, so there is a problem here somehow. Somehow there is a problem here. DT-inst DDS did you mean DT-inst DDS frequency IDX enum 0 enum IDX? Can I look at the error? Can I less it out and see what happens? Okay. Everything's building so fine, and then somewhere down here it just explodes. It does not like the way I am using that. It doesn't like the way I'm doing that. It doesn't like the way I'm doing that. No. No, it doesn't like the way I'm doing that. Let's go back and see what you've actually suggested. It does not like the way I am doing that. So let's check it out. Somehow it doesn't like that. It's DT inst enum. I think it's this one, IDX. So I want to look at this. I want to see how long have I been going. What time is it? 11:18. Whew. A bit of a problem here. Let me see. Okay, cool. I think what I can do is go into the Zephyr code base and try and see if I can find somewhere DT inst enum is being used. DT inst enum IDX. I think I need to go into Zephyr. What am I supposed to do? DT inst enum IDX. Somehow I'm messing this part up. The directory, it looks cool. Okay, so you just pass in that and then you fetch that. Is that what you want me to do? You would just want me to, instead of DT inst enum here, this, you want me to go like, So here it looks like it just wants me to pass in an instance like that. That's what other people are doing. And it looks like I'm doing... Why is the documentation telling me to do something else? Did he drive instantly? Oh, I'm looking at the wrong part. I'm looking at this, but I should be doing that. So it takes in the instance and the prop. Okay, cool. Cool. I'm sorry, I was looking at the wrong place. So let's see. Twist it out. And then let's run the test again. Any questions so far? Everyone's gone. Yeah. 6 more minutes and then I'm probably gonna stop this, I think. Greens, top to bottom. Greens, 100% build, 100% no, 0 errors. So we fixed it. Perfect. Okay, cool. So let's rush through a couple of more. There's a few more reviews from Copilot. Let's see. Copilot seems to think my YAML needs SOS. So let's see. Control E. My YAML file. Copilot doesn't like my YAML file. Which YAML file is this? SPI. Yes, SPI. And then it says here this should be 606. Right. And then it says next one. Says description is 50 kilohertz. I should do that. I have done that. So that's fine. Cool. It wants a space there, and then it wants in the YAML now. The F SC18 IS YAML. This one. What does it want us to change here? It says in this YAML, typo in transactions. Yeah, transactions. Where's that? Should be transactions. Driver interrupt pin of the country. Driver interrupt pin. Here, transactions. Yeah. Alright, transactions. Okay, transactions. And then what else? It seems to think I've made a mistake somewhere else. Let's save that. Let's go W, and then let's see. Yeah, Control E, and then let's go back to the C file, and then in the C file, line number 343, 200K, 343. Somewhere here. What's what? GPIOs port? Reset GPIOs. Yeah, reset GPIOs. In GPIOs, reset GPIOs, reset GPIOs. Could not put reset GPIOs. Yeah. So cool. Thank you. This is reset GPIOs, and then this here as well is I2C reset GPIOs. Cool. And then let's see what else. Reset. And then this is 375 error mention messages in GPIO, but it's actually, yeah, I think I've done that as well. 375 in GPIOs. 375 375 int, yeah. Reset. Okay, I see. Reset. Cool. Fine. Int. let's now reset. Okay, reset, and then where else? Okay, that's fine. And then where else? This is 381. This is, I think, the one we've just set. Reset. Okay, cool. And then what else? Type in dependencies. This is just a comment, man. Copilot found an error in a comment. We have released everything now. Where is that? 571. 571. That is so low. 571. That is so low. Dependencies. Once that, then what else? Oh, that is it. That's all the changes that we need to do for our driver today. Cool. Yeah, and I want to make this tab. Okay, no, space here so that it's consistent. And then what else do I want to do? I want to commit amend. I want to amend all my stuff. Clear and get status. Git add DTS. Okay. Git add drivers. Git add tests. Okay. Git diff dash stage. Git commit dash amend, because we are only allowed 2 commits when you're pushing a driver. You do add drivers and add tests for it, and then that's it. Commit or amend, and then yeah, that should be fine. And then I would like to run compliance. Shit. That's already messed up. Control check. Clear. Control R check. Compliance. Dot. Clear. Yo, Nathan, how are you? Check compliance. Anyways, I can go here instead of actually suffering with it. I can go here and I can look at all the tests, and I want to find the compliance check. Check compliance. Just look slowly there. I'm good, Nathan. That's cool. We're almost done with today, but let me compliance checks. Yeah, so I just want this, and I just want to see the command that they're using. Run compliance tests. This one. Yeah, all of that, and then at some point you run compliance. Yeah, but where's the command? I would like to see the command itself. There you go. I would like to see scripts check compliance. Copy. Let's check compliance. Control C, clear. Control V, I think so. Let's check compliance. Hopefully everything passes from all the changes that we've just done. And if everything passes, we're just going. Oh no, it's doing its thing. I didn't see the message, Nathan. What did you ask? I'm okay with whatever questions. Yeah, cool. Let's see if compliance passes. I think it should pass. I don't see any problem. We should have gotten a problem already if there was going to be, because all the other checks are checking somewhere else. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. This is a couple of more, and that should mean it's okay. But let's see. You never know. I might need to run a formatter or something. Yeah, maintenance format, something like that. Yeah. I might need to run a formatter, but I think the formatter one has already been checked, and all of these other tests that are failing, I don't mind. I used to know how to check this. I used to have a way of running this. Ah, anyways, compliance passes. Git push dash force. Thank you. Feeling much better actually. To be honest, I have not sneezed once in this stream. Think about that. That's cool. Let's go look at our drivers. Yeah, thank you so much, Nathan, for checking on me. That's cool, man. It's nice. It's nice to have friends who check on how you're doing. So let's see, and I believe I have forced push into here, if I am not wrong. There should be a running thing, maybe. Yes, I was at JQuat. I was in JQuat. So Nathan's asking which university I went to. A lot of people watch this from everywhere. Yes, I did go to JQuat, which is Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology. I actually went to an agriculture university, so there you go. I think I would say resolve. I think I would say resolve. I think I would say resolve, and yeah, I would mark that as resolved as well. I'm going to mark that as resolved as well. I'm going to mark that as resolved as well, and that, like that, yeah, and that, yeah. And then I'm going to go here, and then I'm going to go C of Benjamin. What else? What else is here? At Cut Ben. Thank you. Thank you so much for the patience. I finally got around to applying these changes, and I think I am ready for another round of reviews. Comment. And I want to go down here where last week. Okay, cool. And I would like to go to my reviewers. There's somewhere here. Requested changes here. I would like to do re-request. Yeah, that one I don't This one is Self here. Yeah, Self single. Okay, cool. Perfect. Yes, I was in Jaquet. I think from like 2012 or something like that. It's been a long time since I was in university. But yes, I was in Jaquet. I went to the current campus, and we used to go to the Jaquet to the Juja campus and cause a ruckus. That was fun. That was fun times. Nathan, did you go to Jaquet? Is Nathan around? Is Nathan around? Cool. Yeah. So there you go. We've worked on a PR. We've done some reviews of the things that were supposed to be done. We've figured out some stuff. We've learned how to use the fill prep macro, and we've used it quite successfully. And we've done all the other little tidbits that go along with that. And the PR is submitted, and I think that's where I'm going to stop for now. We do have a stream later on today where we're going to be working on our very low code, and we're going to be breaking it up. And just what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and break up and understand the blinking LED very low code that we have, and review it and push it up so someone else can use it. And also I think I found that there's some of the documentation is out of date for the Upiduino. So I'm going to update that as well and get it going. So fix the things you find broken and keep going. Other than that, that was a cool stream. Did some changes on our driver, pushed it up for reviews, and we're ready for the next one. Thank you so much for joining me today on my firmware stream, and I'll see you guys later. Remember, if you want to join and suggest topics and such and ask questions, there is a Discord in the link in this description, and you should be able to join and chat from there. Thank you all so much for coming today. That was amazing. See you later. Cheers.